There is no more fuel, and America is collapsing.
All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it as always. Let's get this show in a row. Base Bunny, thank you for the 5x5. Love, Elite, Paul, Colt, Krista, thank you for the 5x5. Standalone, Kimberly, thank you for the 5x5. Snack Rap and Pop, Donald, Joseph, first and last, Mr. Landfill, thank you for the 5x5. Brian, Bad Botter, Ozark, Andrea, thank you for the 5x5. Sarah, JF, thank you for 5x5. EMP, 1977. Loretta, Disney Mom, thank you for the 5x5. Jeremy, Trapper Bob, Edmund, thank you for the 5x5. Occurs, Sarita, Nostradamus, Dobie, Raccoon Eyes, King of Appalachia, Love Pug, Jeep Dog, thank you for 5x5. Godzilla, Renee, Laura, Miss Nancy, Edley, thank you for the 5x5. Danny, Andrea, Jerry, Pumpkin, Toto, Bug Out, thank you for the 5x5. Sunshine, thank you for the 5x5. AC, thank you for the Wu-Tang by Tribe. Hudson Valley, thank you for RNN by RNN. Tristan, thank you for the 5x5. The Country Humans Network, thank you for the 5x5. Ninja, thank you for the 5x5. Comet Moon, 3%er, thank you for the 5x5. It's Danielle and Megan. Megan Show? Miss Gen X Show, sorry. Whoops. Excuse me. All right, guys, thank you for the 5x5. Appreciate it. Anyway, so every week, there's always something new, and it's probably past comical. It's not even numbing yet, but it's definitely getting old. I don't think anything that's going on is like legit per se. I think a lot of things are staged, and I think we're going to see a lot of more staged events. This whole hantavirus, I think that was part of some BS that they were trying to get people scared with, and it didn't really take, or it didn't really spread the way they wanted to. You choose. AI, is getting worse at the very least. The data centers, and the data centers, by the way, are not for AI. Scott, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. The data centers that they're building are not for AI, right? So apparently they are building these massive data centers at lightning speed so that they can follow everything we do. Mr. Landfill and Blustery, yes, Ebola, that's another one. Now the difference with that one, to be fair, is that this doctor was in the region that had it. Normally, which I don't understand why they didn't do it this time. Normally, when you're in a region dealing with that, they keep you quarantined for a couple days, if not like a week or two, whatever it is. And then you get on a flight and then you come back to this country. So somehow he made it all the way back here and then he started showing signs. And then they're like, well, now we got to check everybody on the plane. What? I'm telling you guys that they're trying their hardest to release a multi facet or level event of diseases. It's got to be. There's no way, guys, that all of this is happening now. With technology being better, with medicines being better, we're having more problems now with these diseases than we did 5, 10, 20 years ago. Something's definitely off. So, again, I said before, I'll say it again. They're definitely releasing a multifaceted. They're definitely releasing a multifaceted event of some kind, right? Edley, the what you call it, the data centers with the humming. No, that's in. There was a guy, I think he was 80 years old. He made this statement, and this was on a lady. She did like an interview with everybody who lives near them and stuff like that. She said that there was a guy there who lived there for 80 years in the town or wherever he lived there. 80 years. That's his entire life. He's considering moving. Not even considering, he's going to move because the humming and the lights, like, it's just driving him crazy. And the humming will definitely drive anybody crazy. I'll tell you that much right now. Loretta, I I would say the AI centers being data centers for us would be a little much, but I also, it could be a possibility. Everything, guys, in this realm is a possibility. Everything. There are things that are happening that we are going to discount because we're going to be like, that's an impossibility, right? When people were told that the Trade Center was being attacked, people were like, that's impossible. It happened, right? When you told people 10 years ago that we were going to go through something like COVID, people said, that's an impossibility. That'll never happen. Anything is a possibility, man. And yes, kitchen cook, they're popping up all over. I mean, Kentucky, I just heard is having a decent sized one, but Utah has the biggest one so far to date. There's a problem. So again, I tell people the data centers are collecting everything we do, every video we make, whether that's on your phone or not, on your phone or GoPro, whatever. It's going to be now GoPro, excuse me, video cameras and I guess photography cameras that film like this one here. Those are still going to be private until you put it on the internet, and then they won't anymore, right? But anything you film on your phone, if you film you and your girlfriend, doing the deed, that shit is definitely going to make its way to the data centers, whether you realize it or not. For every time you look up some disgusting shit or gore channels, right? You look that stuff up, they're going to know. They're going to know your behavior and your habits of everything. You like looking up chocolate cakes and cars, they're going to know. They're going to know exactly the kind of car you like. Right down to like the tires. If you look up guns and knives, they're going to be like, oh, this guy loves guns and knives. Let's watch him a little closer. Every time you get in your car, every time you make a left or right turn, it's teaching the data centers how you get into the location. It's picking up every single thing about you. How many times you blink in a minute on a video? Everything. Your doctor visits, where you're going, your phone tags everywhere you go. Now, I don't think that the data centers are just for that, because that's a lot of data center. The 62 square mile one is a lot of data center for even all of that. Something is definitely up. It could be something for the aliens. Who knows, man? But definitely, it's definitely something's up. Anyway, yeah, so all of the stuff, guys, that we do is going to be recorded. All of it, right? So I tell people, be careful what you look up. If you're looking to, off your loved one, don't look it up on first of all, don't do it ever. But if you're going to do it, you're going to have to do the old school way. You're going to have to go to books or some shit, because you can't look anything up without it being fucking tracked. Now, they're going to initially start their tracking procedures by way of tracking down child, predators and all that bullshit. And the bullshit ones too. The ones that, like, not the bullshit ones, but the ones that look at pictures and never do anything, they're going to track them first. And so for every picture they download, they already know who you are and what you're looking at. They're going to gloss over the fact that they're like the heavy hitters in DC that are actually diddling kids. They're not going to look at them. And matter of fact, a lot of their information is probably going to be in a secure blockchain of some kind, so that no one can even get to it. But who's ever in charge of that will definitely blackmail them with that information, should it go down that way. But they're definitely, guys, recording every keystroke, man. Every keystroke you type, whether you're texting or on a computer, they got it down. They got it down packed, man. They are tracking everything. This AI shit is teaching robots, apparently, or super AI. Now, I think the data centers has to do with super AI or ASI, right? Artificial super intelligence. That maybe that's what it's for, because it would take that much information and more for them to track everything that's going on. I could definitely see that being the thing. The data centers are creating environmental disasters. Matter of fact, let's walk it back a little bit. They are creating not only environmental disasters, but physical damage on the people who live in the area. Like I said, people are losing sleep because of the humming sound. And the worst part about the humming sound is it switches gear. So it's not like a constant humming like sound of the street, for example. I open this window, and you guys heard it before, the traffic and shit outside. That's like a constant sound. The humming is a sound at a frequency that disrupts the brain pattern of any human that lives near it. It's a straight disruptor. Now they're building, like I said, at an alarming rate. They're building AI data centers faster than they're building homes for veterans and homeless people. Our money, tax dollars, state by state, are going into data centers being built. Our tax dollars. And yet somehow, when you question it, a lot of the local officials are telling their constituents, "Don't worry about it. It's not gonna harm you. This is gonna create jobs. They're not gonna taint the water." They don't mention the air part, right? It might keep you up, but you'll get used to it. You'll get used. Listen, a politician looks me in the face and tells me I'm gonna get used to it. Me and that politician are gonna go to war. We're gonna be rolling around on the fucking ground, or I'm gonna bench press him. You choose. Something not ethical is going to happen if somebody was to tell me that shit. Now, for people who live near these data centers, you should be absolutely going after your public official. Absolutely. There shouldn't be well, there's nothing we can do. Yes, there is. It's called a roundup, right? You take some rope, you round them up, and then you figure out what to do with them next. That's what should be done. But no, everybody else wants to fucking, like, oh, hemming and haw. Brian, thank you for bringing that up. Your electric bill and your water bill is going to go up. The amount of usage of electricity and water that they're using, that shit is going to end up on your water and electric bill. You're going to look at your electric bill in a couple months and go, why the fuck is it so high? They're going to try to pull blood out of a stone. And I mean your pockets, right? They're definitely, guys, something, as I guess 5G Trevor said, is demonic about this. Something doesn't feel right. That's the other thing to this. There's something very odd about this whole AI data center shit, and it doesn't sit right with me at all. At first, I was thinking, oh, it's for AI. And then they said 62 square mile or 63 square mile AI data center. I'm like, wait, what? What are they building that needs that much? So either it's super AI or it's the other side of that coin, which I'm going to get into on the Angry Truth channel. The other side of that coin is they are sharing our collected data with Israel. Israel does want a lot of our collected stuff. They have even said it out in the open. What did Larry Ellison buy recently? I forgot what he bought. It wasn't Twitter. Was it Facebook? TikTok. He bought TikTok. That's what it was. He bought TikTok, and they get all of that data stuff from them. Said it out in the open. What did Larry Ellison buy? All right, so my internet is definitely off now. That sucks. That sucks. Anyway, yes, he bought TikTok, right? So anyway, all of that information they want to be bought. They want for themselves. Why does Israel want all this data from the American people? Now, I think it's from around the world, but I can only find information and videos on them talking about how they want a lot of the social media. And in fact, they want more control over social media. So they want people to control what we're saying. So anything we say about Israel is out. And if Israel doesn't like something we're saying, like, I don't know, Christ is king, they want that to be fucking nixed, right? A lot of stuff is being suppressed. I don't understand what's going on. I don't even understand why my internet is acting up right now. It's very, very strange. Yeah, not only am I out of sync, I'm moving opposite this. Like, not opposite this, but like I'm about 3 seconds behind on my own screen. I'm not even real time on my screen right now. It's bad. Anyway. Yeah, I'm lagging really bad. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm like, I don't have a lot of internet stuff on. Maybe it could be that I turned off my Apple TV, so who knows, man? Or maybe because I'm talking so much shit about the data centers, it's like no Negro, you know? Who knows? Let's see. Or maybe my computer is just about that. It's about had it. Yeah, I think my laptop is ready to crash. It's acting really bad right now. It's my computer's acting up. Anyway, hopefully we can get this show on. I'll reset it during the Angry Truth Live. So, guys, all of that to say is that this is going to get inherently bad. Again, I don't think those AI data centers. Now, someone said storage max. Who knows? Who knows if I mean, like, do they need to save every bit of fucking information? That's what it seems like. But all of the data centers that they're building, guys, are way too big. And I think the one in Utah, for example, is enough to save everybody's information. But they're building all over the place. Ohio, PA's got a bunch popping up. Someone just said Kentucky's got a bunch popping up. Kansas, Idaho, Montana, excuse me. A lot of those countries out in the Midwest, they're building shit out in New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, obviously. I didn't hear anything about Louisiana, though I know Louisiana has one already. Florida's building a couple of them as well. North Carolina, South Carolina, I didn't hear about any of them being built there. Who knows? Nonetheless, it's a problem. It's all a problem. And it's definitely something we need to watch. And I don't like it. That's the thing. Like I said, it's giving me a bad feeling. Why do they need so many data centers? Now, are the data centers going to link up? That's another question that I can't seem to find an answer for. I can't seem to find an answer whether or not these are all going to link up at one point in time. Keep in mind, they are owned by different companies, and Israel actually funds a couple of them. Go figure that out. And you know what they fund the AI data centers with? Our money. The money we give them, Israel, they're funding a lot of the AI data centers being built. So just keep that in the back of your head. But anyway, guys, tonight, I want to shut everything down so badly. I don't know why my computer's acting up. And this computer has to last me at least another 4 weeks. And then I'm going to throw this thing right against the wall. Because right now it's acting like a real bitch. I don't understand why I don't understand why everything is lagging on here. Yeah, it's acting really strange right now. All right, whatever. I'm not going to touch anything. Because then this is going to go off and it's going to be really bad. The Lawrence Police Academy guy that did the funny noises. Oh, Michael Winslow, right? Michael Winslow. Is that his name? I think it's Michael Winslow. But yeah, so also, guys, if you live in the New York area, let me walk that back. If you live near a data center, you are undoubtedly going to experience a blackout this summer. So, this El Nino is going to cause or wreak havoc on the planet. We're going to be experiencing hotter summers, and with hotter summers means more power usage, right? ACs and things like that. Well, rather ACs, air conditioning fans, things of that nature. Stores are going to turn up their ACs to keep it cool. People are going to probably max out their ACs to keep their apartment or homes cool, and that's going to cause a blackout. Then you got them turning up the cooling down the temperatures in data centers. That's going to cause a problem, right? And so you're probably going to see a blackout in your area. Now, New York, they gave a warning about data centers. Not data centers, sorry, power outages here in New York. They did give a warning on that. Um, you're probably going to experience blackout or brownouts. Now, in the city, brownouts is where they lower the power usage in the area. So certain things stop working the way they should, like your AC, your fan, your TV set. They're advising people to keep their power usage low. Imagine that. So I mean, listen, I would turn off all my electronics and just let my AC run, right? Or I'll turn off all my electronics, let the fan run, right? That's another problem here in the city. And because they're building so many buildings now, more people are moving into the city. That's the other side of the coin. So you live in a city that's up and coming. You live near a city that's up and coming, or town. You'll definitely see some. You definitely see some brownouts, or you definitely will see a blackout. So, being that we are entering blackout season, I like to call it, make sure you got everything ready to rock and roll. Make sure you got your batteries. Make sure you got your flashlights where they need to be. Make sure you can get to your flashlights without having to use a light to get there. Now, we all have lights on our phone, but if you can do that, if you can get to your gear without a flashlight, that's good. Just have it somewhere known. If you notice that the power is like dimming in your home, you're like, oh, that's not good. Turn it off. Turn everything in your apartment off that you don't, your home, excuse me, that you don't need. You know, shut down the lights in the in room. If you have kids, you always have fucking kids leaving lights on everywhere. Have them turned off. Um, Lights. If you're gonna use candles, which I tell people they should. If you have kids, don't use candles. But if you're a grown adult and you can get away with using candles, then fine. Candles around kids are just a bad fucking combination, man. You know, kids always bump into shit, especially if you have little ones. Yeah, don't use candles around them. Use, like I said, flashlights and things of that nature. Make sure you have all the batteries you need. If you have a solar generator, good. Then you can keep the kids entertained with the bullshit they need. I have a cooler that I have to charge up, by the way, and get an extra battery for. But I can put all of my frozen goods in the cooler, and that cooler lasts about 8 hours. Right? It was the EcoFlow cooler that I did a video on that like a year and a half ago. So if you're interested, look up that cooler. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool device to have. But I was supposed to do another video a year ago on how to use it. So I think I'm going to get that up and running. Need somebody. All right. You better have night vision goggles. Ah, I wish, man. I wish I could afford those. Instead, you know, I'm upgrading my camera gear, so that should be fun. But if I have a little left over for night vision goggles are cool, but what would I use them for? You know, like that's the thing. Like now I'm at the age now when I buy shit, I'm like, am I really going to use whatever it is I'm going to buy? Right? I would love night vision goggles. When the fuck am I going to use them? I'm going to run around my apartment by myself like an asshole, you know? So yeah, Laura said they're like $10K. Are they that expensive? And then right underneath it, fucking 5G Trevor goes, night vision is not expensive. Laura must be talking about the really good ones. Because I know that they're expensive. I know like the military grade are really expensive. I know they have cheap models for us civilians, but spying on the neighbor next door. I live in an apartment building, and I'm not spying on anyone. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Yeah, I really don't like the fact that this computer is lagging so badly. Like it's really pissing me off. And all my apps are shut down, so I don't know why it's doing that. Who knows, man? And my computer is running a little hot, so it's what it is. Again, that was an accident. Like I said, my computer's flipping out on me right now. Anyway, so guys, here's the rub. There is reports of a severe fuel shortage or no fuel by July 4th. Now, do I think we're going to have no fuel by July 4th? No. Are we going to see a fuel issue? Yes. The fact that a lot of the heavy hitter countries that produce fuel are seeing a shortage themselves, meaning they're not producing the amount they used to before. And being that a lot of the refineries were supposedly damaged, they're not producing the same amount of fuel. Some of them are down 500,000 barrels a day. I think one country is down 1 million barrels a day. So the fact that we're not seeing that they're not making the same, and in fact, Iran is not sending their fuel out, and there's reports or a rumor that they're dumping a lot of their barrels or oil into the Strait of Hormuz, like on its own, straight into the water. So there is that rumor going around. I didn't see anything, but some lady who worked for some intelligence agency said that's what they saw, oil slicks in the water. The oil slick could be from the boats, the amount of boats that are being, I guess, imprisoned to stay there. The oil slick can be from that as well. So who knows? I think, guys, it's all bullshit. Right? So it's definitely a problem. Single tube use. Yeah, Franny, I heard people talking about that a month ago, talking about how they were putting gas into their car and they did the same truck like every day, and they noticed that by like Tuesday or Wednesday, their fuel was almost gone. Right, and so a lot of people are saying track your fuel because they are cutting it with more ethanol, and some gas stations were supposedly cutting it with water, which would fuck up your engine if they were. But they were burning through it too fast, and I think with ethanol, it burns through the car a lot faster than what are we at? We're at 10%. I think they want 15. They want 15% or something like that, right? They want to move it up. So there's that. Someone just shot fireworks. It's a little, it's May. I guess not. But anyway. All right, looks like that the internet's catching up a little bit. Whatever. Fake gas. Yeah, listen, we don't know what they're using, but people are noticing the mileage of their gas changing, right? So they're like, again, the gas used to last them a week. Now by Tuesday or Wednesday, they have to refuel again. They're like, something's up. Not to mention refueling, then they refuel, and then they have to fucking spend more money. So there's that. Corn gas. I don't know. It's all fucking, listen, it's all falling apart, man. It's just we're on a Titanic, and this is a sinking ship. It's all going down. Yeah. You lose mileage with ethanol. That's what I thought. And you burn, and Thiz said you burn out your rings and your pistons faster too. No shit. Monica, that's exactly the point. I said that in my videos a couple weeks ago. 15% will ruin your car. Yeah, I've been telling people that it's bad to use in your car. If you can avoid it, by all means. I've seen 50% ethanol back in March. Yeah, it's going to destroy a lot of cars. A lot of cars. That they're definitely going to, because a lot of cars just got used to like the 10%. Not used to, but they started building cars for the 10% ethanol. Maybe they designed some cars for 50 to handle 15% too. I don't know. But nonetheless, it's still bad, and it's still going to look like shit. Yeah, I definitely will need a bicycle. Somebody's going to need a bicycle. Listen, I'd rather walk to work. I don't even want to be caught dead on a bicycle anyway, because no. Bicycle in the city, man, you're like asking to get crushed. Because people drive like assholes. They shoot around each other and shit like that. You're on a bike, man, you're going to get destroyed. They're trying to make this a bicycle-friendly city, and you can't. It's like impossible. It really is. Traffic today was fucking out of control. And Bad Bada said, do not use it in a motorcycle or any small engine. No fuel, we don't have a shortage. We are coming up to a shortage, Jeff, whatever your name is. And I said that by July 4th, if you can read. Anyway, that's the reports. Do I think we're going to see a severe one? Maybe. Are we going to see no fuel? Probably not. Kevin, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. It looks like the internet is trying to catch up on itself right now. So that's a good thing, I guess. My computer's, again, I can't wait to get a new one. This computer's just had it. I'm going to fucking have a smackdown party in this thing. Fucking suplex the whole 9 yards. You choose. But anyway, guys, apparently there's a fuel shortage, and by July 4th, there will be a severe restriction on fuel, hindering people's travel for the weekend. That's the problem. And not so much that it's a problem. I mean, like hindering travel, not really, but the fact that there probably will be fuel restrictions after July 4th or before July 4th. You're going to be restricted on fuel and paying more. Double whammy, right in the face. So Kepler reported earlier this month the cumulative loss of oil supply in the Middle East since February 28 has hit 782 million barrels as of May 8 and was on track to expand to 1 billion barrels by the end of the month, by the end of this month. In the daily output terms, the picture looks no better. Saudi Arabia is losing over 3 million barrels daily. Iraq is producing only 2.8 million barrels daily less, and Iran is at 1.6 million barrels lower than normal, while Kuwait has suffered a decline of 1.75 million barrels daily. Jet fuel is also another problem. We're going to see critical levels of jet fuel and diesel by the end of this month, if not in June, right? We are in May now, right? June. So, what is this going to look like for us? Well, jet fuel doesn't matter. You just don't travel, right? Not a big to do. But if this hits the gasoline world and diesel world, this is going to hinder our travel to work for those of us that need our cars to work. Now, I can leave my truck parked on the street for a couple of days or find a parking lot and put it in there for a couple of days, and I can walk to work. And at this point, putting my car for a couple of days is saving me a ton of money. GZ8, I talked about that. I said that Iran was dumping it into the ocean, right? They were dumping it into the Strait of Hormuz. That was the report or the rumor, right? There's no evidence. They just said they see oil slick in the water. So we're not sure whether or not they actually are. But I mean, I guess because you can also blame the boats for being in the Strait of Hormuz as well. So there's also that, right? We don't know. We don't know. I want to get a motorcycle so bad. I really do. Blue Moon said $5 gas, $6 diesel in Ohio. Also, guys, really quickly, the Ebola virus. I wanted to touch on that before I finish this. The Ebola virus might be another scam. They might scam us with this one too. Again, a doctor who should have been quarantined, leaving that region before he got on a plane to get here, is telling me that they let this shit go. Or he hid it from them and then he got here and he got symptomatic. So now there's one doctor that has it. The people that he was on a plane with, they're going to monitor. Don't know how they're going to do that. Because that means you have to take these people and put them in a quarantine zone. Now, the hantavirus people, they got in a quarantine zone. And though their doctors say that the hantavirus Andes strain was never present in any of these people that got it. So then what the hell do they have? They're going to be spreading more and more bullshit on us for the next couple of weeks or for the foreseeable future. Again, the one doc that I was talking about, this strain is not the Andes strain. He doesn't know what it is, but he knows it's not that. And he said there was never any presence of it. And when you notice, the articles talk about the hantavirus popping up here and there in different people, they don't mention the Andes strain anymore. They just say hantavirus. So clearly, guys, something is definitely going on. Something's definitely amiss, if you will. These people are up to no good, and now they're introducing the Ebola virus. Who knows? All we need is Mossberg to start rearing its ugly head, and then we got to fight. If this stuff actually gets out to the public, this could be bad. If it does. I'm under the impression that it might not be real, that they're going to use its name and its likeness, but it's not going to be the actual Ebola. Some people are going to get sick, but not severely sick, and they're going to be pointing and screaming, Ebola, and then they're going to lock the city down, or people are going to lock themselves down because they heard Ebola. So we shall see. I'm not worried about any of this bullshit because I know a lot of it is bullshit. Period. I do not want to sound like the guy, by the way, from the movie Contagion, Jude Law's character. I don't want to start sounding like him, but and how this could be fake or it is fake. I feel like him. like the character from Contagion. Again, you look up Jude Law's character. He was the guy that sat online and talked about how this is fake and this is not real, and you need to take this concoction. It helps, you know. And they actually, in the movie, they never fucking said whether the concoction he was taking was fake or real. They never said it. They tried to make it sound like it was fake, but he was taking something, you know. They did a poor job trying to portray the fact that it was fake. They never really got to the bottom of that. Yeah, Mr. Cooper, that's exactly it. He goes, the start of your lag was coincidence when you brought up Israel and the new owner of TikTok. Yeah. I noticed that. I was like, why am I so off? I'm like, it's really bad. Now, I'm like, it's bad on my side. But guys, if this turns into a new thing, if this Ebola turns into a new thing, we are definitely going to see more bullshit. We're definitely going to see free burgers. We're going to see more free burgers, more free fries. That's without a doubt. They're going to tell us that certain drugs are no good again. Ivermectin being one of them. And apparently you can use ivermectin for Ebola, Marsburg. I forgot the other one. There was four of them they named. I can only remember two. Hantavirus was another one. That's three. I can't remember the fourth one. But they said that the Ivor stuff and it was ivermectin. There was a couple other natural shit that works against it. Forsythia, yes, remember that Forsythia. I don't want to sound like that guy, but I'm starting to realize I'm sounding like him. Oh right, free pizza, free donuts, free phone bill for like 3 weeks, whatever it is. You know, they're gonna offer so much shit. It's gonna be insane. But I tell you this much, I don't think a lot of people are gonna lock down this town. You know what? I hope a lot of people don't. I don't know, man. I don't. A lot of people talk a good game until it's time to show and prove. We all watched people during the Mr. 19 event, right? We all watched the Mr. 19 event. We watched a lot of people talk a lot of shit. I'm not taking it. You're never gonna get me. This is not happening. I'm gonna die on this hill. And then when it was time to take it, people were like, but I needed a job. Okay, all right. How's it working out for those people who are not here anymore because they took that shit they didn't need and now they're dead? Right? From Bendazol's the other one, but not that wasn't the one I was thinking of. But that's another one that helps with the Ebola, hantavirus, and Marsburg. And they don't. And the doctor was saying that he goes, yeah, they don't want you to know that. He says, but they will prescribe it to you on the low, like secretively. They said that they want to not push it because they're working on the arm ticket for the Ebola. And the Ebola arm ticket, by the way, is horrendous. That arm ticket does more damage to you than the actual disease itself. And in fact, one of the reports from years ago when they were working on this, the death was far worse than actually suffering from Ebola. I was like, how bad could that? What did that look like? What did that look like? I was curious. When they said that, I was like, I am fucking curious. APAC bought another election. Did he win? Did that guy win? I know that they were motherfucking, what's his name? Macy? Listen, blustery. I think you mentioned earlier, I would take the Ebola seriously until we see what we got. Right? So I'm not saying write it off completely. I just have a raised eyebrow. But while I have a raised eyebrow at this Ebola shit, I'm like, I don't know. But I'm still gonna take my precautions just in case. Macy lost. Of course he did. Yo, that bullshit that Trump was spreading on him was insane. Yo, Trump was outright lying. Outright lying. That's fucking crazy. That tells you what a bag of shit that man is. Outright fucking lying. Dead inside, you're right. There's no way of voting our way out of this. We have to, unfortunately, we have to fight our way out. Hydrochloroquine, Yardbird. No, that wasn't the one I was thinking of either. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that I'm gonna find that video again. I'm gonna write down what he talked about, and he said I gotta find out where I saw it. That's one. Two, I think I saw the next. But two, I'm gonna write down exactly what medications were good for those four. I only named three, but four viruses that have a high mortality rate. But he said if you started taking it at the break of it, he said something to the fact of, if I'm not mistaken, he says you take these meds when you hear of the breakout so that your body has it on board. So if you get infected, your body's now fighting with the medication on board, right? Normally you're supposed to wait till you get sick to start taking shit. He was advising people to take it like not as soon as you hit a breakout, but like if somebody in the area started getting sick and you hadn't gotten sick yet, to start taking it. He says your body and the meds will fight off whatever it is. And he says you had a higher probability of surviving if you did it that way. I was like, all right. Oh, got to go to work tomorrow. Never in the mood these days, man. I am so old. Until I get there. When I get there, I'm like, all right, now I'm good. Then when we get to a fire, I'm like, even better, you know? But when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go. I actually just want to go to bed right now. I want to go to sleep right now. Just lay on the floor in front of you. Well, you guys can't see me on the floor, but just go lay the fuck down right now. Aaron said UFOs are real. Listen, I don't know whether UFOs are real. I mean, I believe UFOs are real. Excuse me, let me walk that back. Whether they're demons or not, it's an entirely different ballgame. Handy Prepper and 3%, not that one. I wasn't even thinking of that one. But yeah, I've had shit sleep the last, I don't know, week. I think tonight, after the angry truth, I'm just gonna lay down, take a shower, and lay the fuck down. Be like, fuck this, I'm done. It's just, it sucks, man. When you get older, you don't hang the same. Trump is afraid of Macy. You think so? That's interesting. But anyway, guys, whole point to this video is the gas price. The gas thing should be an issue. Oh, also, sorry. This is the other thing I need to mention. Motor oil is going to be at a crisis level by the end of either this month or June. If motor oil becomes another shortage, a bad shortage, if you need your car oil changed soon, get it changed now. Or try to wait till maybe the end of the month and get it changed before it really gets bad. Because if there's a motor oil shortage, the two things that are going to happen is, one, they're going to charge you an astronomical price to get your oil changed, and two, you might be shit out of luck for the oil. Now you might be running your truck or your vehicle with fucking used oil, which is going to damage the engine. It's almost as if they're trying to damage the engine in our vehicles on purpose. It's just such that there's something about everything that's going on. It's insane. Nonetheless, the motor oil thing is a definite issue. You people need to. Yardbird, I have magnesium glycinate. I'm going to take it between this and the Angry Truth. Oil change, $86. TK, that is cheap. You know how much is it for the Chevy dealership here in Jersey? I think it's $101 or $102 for an oil change. Right? I think that's just across the board. I have an SUV. But yeah, someone said vegetable oil. If you have a diesel truck, vegetable oil works really well as well. But if you have a diesel, I know that you can use vegetable oil or use vegetable oil, some shit like that. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, and that's the other thing too. You could do the oil change yourself, right? I think I crawled under my truck to see if I can do it myself. I can do it myself. So if you can do the oil change yourself, by all means, you're going to save a lot of money. Also, what you can do is now buy the amount of oil you would need for your car for the next year or two, right? So if you need, 4 quarts or 6 quarts of oil, whatever it is, buy the 6 quarts and then multiply that times 2 a year, right? So 2 changes a year roughly, right, on average. And so if it's 4 quarts, you're going to need 16 for 2 years, right? If I did the math right, 16 for 2 years. You could do that, right? And you could just store it in your garage or something until you need it. And then when you need it, then you do the oil change. You do it yourself. You save a ton of money doing it that way. But there's definitely going to be an oil shortage. I'm going to buy the oil for my truck this week. And then I don't need an oil change anytime soon, but I'm just going to sit on it. I'm just going to that and the filter. Make sure you buy a filter too. as well. Yardbird said just change the filter. Is that it? $18 a quart? Damn. Filter was $10. No shit. Yardbird said just change the filter. Seriously? Because you got to change the oil filter. I thought you did. I mean, I guess if it gets that bad, you can definitely just change the oil filter. And I hope it doesn't get that bad, but I think it might. So, guys, oil storage tanks in the U.S. to run dry by the 4th. Oil storage tanks in the United States are on track to run empty around July 4th. That could be a little before or after, according to Jeff Curry, senior advisor at Carley Group, signaling a deepening energy crisis that could disrupt market and fuel supplies. Now, what they're worried about, they're not worried about our cars, right? They're worried about the trucks that deliver the shit we need, food, water, you name it, coffee, so we don't kill one another. Those are the things that they're worried about. They're worried about it in that aspect. They're worried about a food shortage because of a fuel shortage, or the lack of delivery because of a fuel shortage. That makes sense. Let's see, where were we? Signaling. Okay, Curry, speaking on Bloomberg Television, also warned that Europe will hit tank bottom by as early as May, painting a grim picture for global oil availability. The start timeline stems from a persistent deficit where demands outstrip supplies, forcing inventory draws at an alarming rate. Curry highlighted recent U.S. inventory numbers as unprecedented, noting he has never seen anything like this before. While the situation has not yet escalated to a full-blown shortage, the trajectory suggests critical thresholds are approaching fast. So for somebody that said that there's no fuel shortage, I never said that there was one now. I said that we were approaching one. And this is confirmed by the guy from Carley Group, Jeff Curry. Asia is already grappling with the shortage in regions like Australia, the Philippines, and Thailand, where shortage levels are critically low. In contrast, Europe and the United States remain in deficit mode, depleting reserves without immediate relief in sight. Curry emphasized that even if geopolitical tensions such as the Strait of Hormuz standoff were to resolve today, it would take over 3 to 6 months for supply flows to begin normalizing. They said 3 months, but I read in a couple places they said 6 months, anywhere between 3 to 6 months for the supply to normalize. But at the very least, if you see the supply chain getting better, that's better than nothing, you know? That's way better than nothing. But, 3 months is a long time, and a lot of shit can happen in 3 months. All right. A lot of shit going on this month, man. A ton of shit going on this month. Yeah, listen, I'm ready to get a used motorcycle and just ride around in that thing, or fucking scooter or Vespa, huh? How about that? Let's enter the Vespa again. You get caught on a Vespa. I'd listen. Vespa, spike fucking what you call in the middle of the road. So fuck that. Fucking grown man riding a Vespa. When every time I haven't seen it a lot lately, but when I see it, I just and it's a grown man. I shake my head. I'm like, what is this fucking dude doing on a Vespa? And happy about it too. All smiling and shit, like with his stupid fucking big head helmet on, like bouncing his head around and looking at people like he's fucking Billy Badass on a Vespa. That you get a Vespa, you grow a vagina. It sort of goes hand in hand. Someone goes, I'm gonna get a Vespa, and it's a dude. He's gonna grow a vagina, without a doubt. It's just how it has to happen. There's no other way. He's like, I need a Vespa. They can zip me around. And first of all, if you even sit there and talk about the fact that you're gonna zip around the city, you're gay. Sorry. Riding a Vespa with a large helmet, talking about zipping around the city, you're gay. That's the bottom line. Vespa is Italian. I don't give a shit if Vespa was Switzerland made. It's still gay. Doesn't get any gayer than that. Grown man on a Vespa. It's even sucks when you see a guy riding like a small CC, like a 600 or a 500 CC motorcycle thinking he's a Billy Badass. My first bike out of the gates was fucking a 1000. It was the V-Rod, the Harley V-Rod. Out of the gate. And people telling me, you shouldn't start with that. That's too big of a bike. Fuck you. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not riding anything smaller than that. I almost killed myself the first couple of days, but I got a hold of it, you know? I can't ride anything smaller than that now, man. You're going backwards. Fucking guy on a Vespa or somebody on a little dirt bike on gay. You know? That's all it is. Totality of gayness is what it is. Riding around on a fucking Vespa or dirt bike. Dirt bikes, I mean, at least dirt bikes, there's a little more wiggle room with some manliness behind it. But, yo, a Vespa? Even worse. A fucking electric Vespa or an electric scooter. Even worse. Gross. MacGyver said, nope, 1100 a bust. Yo. 600 much faster than a V-Rod. Still a manly bike, dude. V-Rod was still a manlier bike than the 600 any day of the week. More power, my friend. He's like, Z-Question's like, 600cc goes 6. Yeah, I think the V-Rod went fairly fast. I think it was over 150. I just can't remember what the top speed was. But Sportsters weren't bad. Sportsters are good for women. Like, if you're a chick, great, you know? That's great. You know, if a chick wants to ride a Vespa, fine. She has a vagina. It goes hand in hand. But a man on a Vespa or an electric scooter, no. On a man on a Sportster or a small bike. I used to watch guys roll up on a Sportster, and you wanted to make fun of them. But you treated them like a retarded kid. You were like, aw, you know, like you felt bad for them. Because they were like, they rolled up on their little Sportster that they just bought, all happy and shit. They were like, ning, ning, ning. And you were like, oh, look at them, he's retarded. And you would take him in, you know, like with the group. You know, but you would keep the fucking Sportster guy in the back. You're like, dude, unfortunately, you got to ride in the back. You can't ride with the big boys. You got to hang in the back there with your fucking Sportster. You know, but yeah, man. A lot of people with the bikes, and they're like, I'm gonna get them a sports. I'm like, you get a Sportster, I'll never talk to you again. We're no longer friends. Matter of fact, I'll get a box of tampons sent to your home if you get a fucking Sportster. You know. It's just that bad. Anything under 600 or 950, excuse me. Anything under that, yeah, you might as well fucking ride. You know, and Rice Rockets are a little different. At least they have speed to make up for their lack of power. You know, like the Hayabusas, those things were fucking mean. Those were vicious bikes. They were starting at 1100 cc's. They were fucking fast, and the power behind them was sick. That's a man bike. You know? Jackass is looking good. Yeah, Bucky, that was the thing. Dude, you should see. And the thing is that you felt bad for them because they felt like they were cool. You know, they're like, oh, I'm cool. And then the Harley nerds. Thank you, my skydive. The Harley nerds were even worse. Those are the guys who left the Harley shop with all Harley paraphernalia, right? Jacket, boots, helmet, glasses, watch, you name it, the rings. They were all Harley'd out. You're like, you fucking dork. You're supposed to buy the bike, not the apparel. You know, like never are you supposed to buy the apparel. But people like, you know, I mean, like maybe a shirt is cool, but to dress all up in, and then they will show up to bike conventions, like the smaller ones, with all their Harley gear on. I'm like, you fucking nerd. Take that shit off. And then they had the Harley bandana, again, the whole thing, top to bottom, Harley. Underwears, probably Harley. I don't know if they make them, but probably Harley. You know, boots, the socks, you know, they want to get into a fight. They show you their Harley rings. Get the fuck bent, dude. Just the bike, not the apparel. Harley rides in gangs, more sensitive than, yeah. I wanted another Harley, but Harley's they're so expensive for no fucking reason. And their maintenance, their repair, it's even worse. It's a lot worse than that. I'm like, come on, man. Like I wanted the newer V-Rods. Like I said, those bikes had balls, man. They really did. Those bikes had a lot of balls. The CBR 1150R. See, that's a bike. That's a bike. And it's funny, though. I don't see a lot of motorcycles around here anymore. Maybe because I'm not looking. But when I rode, man, everywhere you went, there was a bike. Now, I don't see... And listen, a motorcycle in a city like New York is pretty bad. There are fucking potholes everywhere. So you're definitely going to break your neck on one of these streets. That's for fucking sure. I mean, a lot of like the e-bikes, they were taking hits and spills because of that shit. You know? They were taking hits and spills, and there were tires being blown out because of the giant size fucking potholes that were out here. Z Question says, I have a bike channel. All right. So if anybody's interested in motorcycles, go to Z Question. Z Questions. Is that like a German thing? Z Questions? Z Questions, Z Hitlers. All right, is that it? Anyway. Buy a Harley, get a free Bud Light. And tampons. Buell is a nice bike. Isn't Buell part of Harley, if I'm not mistaken? Nobody sees bikes on the road. Yo, I barely see bikes on the road anymore. I used to see them all the time. Craig, I don't see them a lot now. I really don't. You know what I mean? Like, you know, here in the city, the dirt bike kids, every now and again, you'll see a motorcycle. But every now and again, before it was all the time. You could throw a rock, you would hit fucking, 2 or 3 fucking motorcyclists. Now, a 1971 Sportster I bought at 18 years of age. Again, there you go, 18 years of age. Jim, you're a grown-ass man now. You shouldn't still be riding it. You should have passed that 1971 Sportster down here like your grandson. Right? But you should be on like a bigger bike, Are known for rattling and falling apart. I guess. I mean, my bike was good. My bike did well. And then I just I fucked that whole thing up. So now I don't have a bike anymore. Or whatever. Even my number is lagging on my screen, which means I have an internal problem. I'm going to reset my computer and hope to God it turns back on. If it doesn't turn back on, there will not be an Angry Truth live stream later tonight. I tell you that much. Big Earn, yes. Me and my Vespa are going to get some Spam while eating it on a hot plate. That looks good. I thought Buell was bought out by Harley a few years ago. I could be wrong then. Sorry. Oh, Jim said I'm 71. Oh, you're that old? Oh, okay. I guess that tracks. He said 71, 18 years. That tracks. That makes sense. Okay, sorry. Have you uploaded anything? Edmund, what do you mean? I'm not uploading anything now. Yeah, the video is choppy. I mean, it's really bad. So I'm going to, like I said, in 1 minute, I'm going to reset my computer and see what happens. Or unplug my router. I could do that. I'll do it all. Fuck it. I'll unplug everything. Everything's getting unplugged. Fuck this shit. But I also turned off my main source of internet drain, which is in the living room. It's all off. So this shouldn't be a problem. Unless the power usage is down because everybody's using the AC today, that could be the issue too. But I will unplug everything as soon as this is done. And we hit the hour mark. Try to kickstart at a 70 Sportster. No shit. He has Pornhub running on his TV right now. Even if so, I should be having this problem. It's a stupid problem to have, but nonetheless, it's a problem. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go off the air. I will see a lot of you guys on the Angry Truth channel. I'll see the rest of you guys tomorrow morning. I might have a live stream, an early morning live stream. Outside of that, guys, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it as always.